we have been discussing this for the last few sessions. There are few students who have joined newly, including Garima, who probably were never exposed to Patanjali's Yoga Sutra. No. Oh, you have read it. Okay. So before we, proceed further, we so far discussed what is vritti, what is chitta vritti, nirodh. We also discussed each of the panchavrittis, and we were about to enter into the domain of how do you bring this nirodha. So before we proceed further, the students who have attended my classes, I would like to ask a very simple question. What is chitta vritti? Anyone would like to answer? Raise your hand. What is chitta vritti? Yes, Bashmila, and then yeah. Yeah.
Behavioral patterns or the repeated thought tendency. Usually it is described as a vritta, like a circle comes. There are 5 types of vritti, which will be like changing like one after the 5. According to Patanjali, there were 5 types of predominant vrittis. So this vrittis, as we told, it's a behavioral tendencies of the patterns, which will be occurring in a chitta. Chitta is not actually a mind, like it is the like basic level of your manomaya kosha. Means
Did she understand? Did you understand what she's talking? No. So you should be able to convey in which person who doesn't know should be able to understand. You can simplify things. Let us hear from Shreyas.
So some things seem to have like these are patterns of the mind or chitta. Chitta is composite mind, so it includes manas and some other components. So chitta vrittis are patterns that we see in all human beings, and they are obstacles in our spiritual growth.
So chitta vrittis are patterns which come on the composite mind. That is what Shreyas says. Now, making it very simple and easy to understand for everybody. Yogic understanding is very clear. Mind deals with only 2 things. One is image. Second is sound. Correct? In your mind, can there be anything else except for an image or a word that you have learnt and it is a chatter that is going on? So there is a lyrics, there are words, or there is an image, or both of them are combined together. In a way, when you look at a movie in a theater, you are seeing basically sound and image. Apart from that, is there anything else in a movie? Or the screen can be blank. Before the movie starts, blank screen. When movie begins, there is either an image or there is a sound. Is there anything else? That is image, no? Okay. So, chitta is the screen. Chitta is the screen on which there is projection. Fine. Now, projection can be of different categories. Patanjali says, on your mental screen, continuously there is a movie going on inside. There is a movie going on inside. There are some images that keep rotating. They can take a video form. And they are associated with sound. And of course, they generate your own emotions and whatever reaction that it generates. But this is what is the fundamental phenomena that is going on the mental screen. Mental screen is chitta. Correct? Now, Patanjali says that if on that screen, if that screen turns into a mirror, imagine that the screen turned into a mirror. You have some software no, in the mobile. You can make the screen into a mirror. If that turns into a mirror, then its function will be very different. It will simply show you what your senses are capturing as it is. So if the chitta screen turns into a mirror, we call that vritti as pramana vritti. Correct? Now, if the mirror mode goes away, okay, and it starts giving you a flashback of an event which happened exactly as it is, then it is in the smriti mode of vritti. It is giving you anubhuta vishaya asampramoshah. That is, smriti mode is on the chitta. Which mode is on? Smriti mode is on. Pratyaksha, mirror mode is on. Clear? Then, if the projecting entity on the chitta becomes more creative, goes into the memory and makes new permutation and combination and makes a film and projects. इनसाइड आउट में देखा ना, वो पीछे में मूवी बनाते रहते हैं वो लोग. सो ऐसा कुछ बना करके प्रोजेक्ट किया, then that movie which has no touch with the mirror mode but simply a creative projection about future, a creative projection about future, that mode is known as vikalpa mode. शब्द ज्ञान अनुपाति वस्तु शून्यो. Correct? Then there is another mode where mirror mode is on, but on the mirror mode there is my own projection also on the mirror. It is like mirror is there, but on the mirror there is a coloring screen. So mirror as it is, उसके ऊपर ब्लू या येलो कलर का शेडिंग डाल दिया. उसके शेड होता है ना, अलग अलग शेड डालते हैं आप मोबाइल में, ऐसा उस पर ब्लैक एंड व्हाइट, ब्लू, ऑरेंज कलर्स का शेडिंग हो गया, बट इट इज शोइंग मिरर ओनली. Then that vritti is known as viparyaya. Viparyaya means there is a stimuli from the senses in the present moment, but on that stimuli I am coloring it with my own projections. Now this this projection on the chitta is also done by another part of the chitta, which we loosely call it as the storehouse of memories or subconscious mind, whatever that you can tell it. Everything together is chitta, but chitta ka jo face hai wo mental screen hai. Then chitta has its own depth behind it. So behind the screen there is a reel that is going on, and there is a director who can dynamically shift which mode is going on. So 4 modes so far. Can you tell me? Number 1 was pramana, that is mirror mode, transparent mirror mode. Second was smriti mode, which is flashback mode. Then third was imagination, projection mode, vikalpa. And the fourth was viparyaya. What is that mode? Shaded screen. Shaded screen. Correct? Then apart from it, theater can be off. Nidra. अभी इससे सिंपल तो कोई नहीं समझा पाएगा. Now you tell me, apart from these 5 modes, is there any other mode that this screen can show? Your own screen is your lab. Observe. Have you ever projected any other mode on your screen, chitta screen? Did you project? Anybody raise your hand. I have projected something other than these 5 on my mental screen. I raise my hand. Can anybody? Huh? You have to answer my question. You can't ask another question. That is at the end. Are you answering my question? Huh?
In Smriti, the flashback will be exactly shown as it is.
My question is, have you projected
Yes.
anything else than what is that you have projected?
That is what.
Huh?
So some incident has happened before. I am interpreting it now in different way.
it was not, I have not perceived that meaning that time.
Hmm.
But now I am going to that, going back to that situation.
No, you can combine Smriti and Vikalpa. Okay, it is not something very creative. Okay, Smriti में विकल्प आपने उसको डाल दिया. So see, please understand that watertight compartment मत करो. Apart from these five mode, if on your screen part is Vikalpa, part is Smriti. Correct? But they are also vrittis only, no? I am asking, apart from these five mode or their permutation and combination, have you projected anything else? I think Aishwarya would have projected something. Huh? Yes, so why I am telling you this is Patanjali's definition of yoga is all these five modes nirodha. None of these five mode is yoga mode. So my dear friends, we are talking at bringing yoga mode onto the screen. Many of us feel that we have done yoga, we are yoga practitioners, we are yoga masters, we are yoga MDs, PhDs. So yoga mode on the screen is none of these five. So what is the yoga mode on the screen? On the screen, we say this button push kiya, yoga mode is on. Patanjali says if yoga mode is on, none of these five mode can be there. What is the yoga mode on the screen? Because the very definition of yoga is these all five vrittis nirodha, all those five vrittis set aside, yoga mode on. So अब यार योगा मोड हमको श्रेयस बताएंगे.
Some is projecting Purusha or pure consciousness.
Please clap यार, please clap for Shreyas. I think you also had this in your mind. So this chitta is not only for projecting the world or sleeping. This chitta has one more divine quality to it. It can project your swarupa, your true self. ये आपके स्वरूप को भी उस पे प्रोजेक्ट कर सकता है, क्योंकि पतंजलि इसके बाद के श्लोक में क्या बोलते हैं? तदा द्रष्टुहु स्वरूपे अवस्थानम वृत्ति सारूप्यम इतरत्र. Either the chitta will be in either of these five modes, which are by default. You don't have to do anything. Automatically, five mode shifting will go on. Depending on your karma, karmashaya, subconscious mind, raga, dvesha, kleshas, whatever that is there in the background in your storehouse of chitta, in your subconscious, this by default will go on. But Patanjali says that if with effort, with abhyasa and with vairagya, you are able to let go of these vrittis, you can bring in another mode which is hidden. But only human being can go into that mode. सिर्फ इंसान इस मोड में जा सकता है और कोई नहीं जा सकता. वो मोड है स्वरूपा मोड. There is another mode, madam. That is called as which mode? Swarupa mode. Mirror mode, memory, smriti mode, sleep mode, imagination mode, shading mode. Patanjali says none of this is yoga. Yoga is Swarupa mode. So, what happens on the screen when you are in Swarupa mode? You are asking something.
Take it as whatever the mode is screen playing on, the observer is not attached to it or not non-judgmental about it.
No, that is very initial stage, but when Patanjali says yoga chitta vritti nirodha, it is a existing proper observable experiential mode which is apart from the five. What we say as being mindful of all the vrittis non-judgmentally is in the beginning. That happens when the हम क्या प्रे करते हैं? योगेन चित्तस्य. Yoga mode itself begins detachment from all other modes. Correct? But telling that yoga mode is simply non-attachment to the mode that are going on is not sufficient. That is only a beginning stage. But when you say yoga mode, tadevarth matra nirbhasam swarup shunyam iva samadhi. When you say samadhi mode, that is apart from these panchavrittis, another experiential, lucid, observable mode on the chitta.
Yes, sutra also are different, sir. When yoga mode means drashtu swarupa avasthan. Otherwise, vritti sarupya.
Please clap for Gautam. Did you understand what did he say? He says that Patanjali would have simply said tada swarupe avasthanam, but he uses the word drashtuhu. It means observer. In all other modes, what happens? The observer becomes one with the mode. But here the observer first detaches, becomes non-judgmental observer, and then establishes himself in his own swarupa. In the beginning of the sadhana, the chitta modes may be going on the screen. See, I would like to tell you, movie can go on the screen. देखिए, अगर आप ये बात समझ गए ना, तो the whole sutra's confusion forever will go away. Imagine I am looking at the screen, a movie, correct? And from the background, there is a backlight in the TV. Backlight रहता है, backlight से उस पे प्रोजेक्ट होता है, फिर मूवी चलता रहता है, बराबर? If I keep on increasing the brightness from the backlight, if I keep on increasing the brightness and the backlight, slowly these words will become faint हो जाएंगे ना. फिर भी वो वर्ड्स बिगिनिंग में चलता रहेगा, मूवी जो चल रही है वो चलती रहेगी, मूवी विल गो ऑन, पर वो फेंट होती जाएगी क्योंकि ब्राइटनेस बढ़ रहा है, ब्राइटनेस बढ़ रहा है. पूरा डार्क हो गया तो निद्रा में चला गया, लेकिन जब ब्राइटनेस बढ़ रहा है, एक पॉइंट आएगा इतना ब्राइट हो जाएगा, इतना ब्राइट हो जाएगा कि कुछ दिखेगा ही नहीं आपको, ओनली ब्राइट स्क्रीन, बराबर? वो मूवी चल रहा है कि नहीं चल रहा है वो उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, अभी वो ब्राइट हो गया. तो ये अपने आप में ये जो फुल ब्राइटनेस है, दिस इज वन मोड, दिस इज स्वरूपा मोड. Till now, it was projecting only what the senses were showing. Now it is projecting its own swarupa. धीरे धीरे वो स्वरूप जब प्रोजेक्ट करते चला जाता है, then we call it as, क्या बोलते हैं? चित्त वृत्ति निरोध. Here you are not suppressing any वृत्ति. देखो, यही समझना है, हम किसी वृत्ति से लड़ झगड़ नहीं रहे हैं. We are not fighting with the vrittis. We are not saying that I should not go in past or future, or I should not, because fighting with the vrittis is again making the observer more attached to the vrittis. And the more observer is attached, the more you are intermingled there, fighting with them. Why my mind always goes into this smriti? Why it always keeps projecting future? Those vrittis where you are just trying to fight with vrittis, but not trying to increase the brightness of the screen. When you increase brightness, all conflicts slowly wither away. And increasing the brightness doesn't involve fighting with darkness. So there is a difference between holding on to the light and fighting with darkness. Most of us and most of our patients fight with darkness. Nobody in this universe ever was able to throw the darkness away. If this hall is dark, I tell you, take sword, take all the weapon that you have, cut this darkness, hold it, throw it out of the room. You will ultimately injure yourself. Darkness you will never win, and you will then say, oh, this darkness is so strong. Whatever I do, I always lose. But if I tell you, just light a lamp. Lighting a lamp is such a simple act, very gentle also, as compared to violent fight with darkness. And gradually increase the brightness of the lamp. So this lighting of the lamp, is what Patanjali calls as abhyasa. So vritti sarupyam itaratra अभ्यास वैराग्याभ्याम तन निरोधः. अभी आप ब्राइटनेस बढ़ाना है तो चित्तवृत्ति का निरोध होगा. When चित्तवृत्ति निरोध happens, my dear friend, it is in this state that the ultimate mental well-being takes place. All healing of all psychiatric conditions happen in a state of chittavritti nirodha. Now theoretically you understand. You understand, right? Now tell me how, this brightness of the screen can be increased. Please understand this by this analogy. This is chitta, screen. If this chitta is in a mode where it is always open only to the information that is coming from the senses, correct? Then pramana vritti. Now this chitta is kept somewhere and it is only projecting what is there around. It is completely transparent. तो अभी वो ग्लास पे कोई चिड़िया उड़ेगी तो वो चिड़िया उस बॉल के अंदर दिखाई देगी. फ्लावर आएगा, जो भी आएगा, दिस प्रमाण वृत्ति, करेक्ट? This chitta is not only putting pramana, it has its own depth. Deep subconscious impressions are also there. They also can bubble out on the chitta. So pramana में रहते हुए क्या होता है? Between we are listening to the talk, suddenly you get an impression from your subconscious. You are lost in some smriti. 2-3 minutes have passed, then again you come back. Then you don't know what conversation has happened in those 2-3 minutes. In that, your chitta is projecting your impressions. So the same screen which projects the pramana, it also projects your own impressions and gets you into other vrittis apart from pramana. So generally they say that when Patanjali gives a sequence, Patanjali का sequence कैसा है? First pramana, second viparyaya, third vikalpa, fourth nidra, fifth smriti. Patanjali, when he says anything, he or puts anything in a particular sequence, there is a logic behind it. Can anybody tell me the logic of why Patanjali uses this sequence? How he puts mirror mode, shadow mode, imagination mode, sleep mode, and then lastly he puts memory mode, flashback mode. Why this sequence? Spurti. ನೀವು ಹೇಳಿ, ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಸೀಕ್ವೆನ್ಸ್? ಯಾಕೆ? ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಎನಿ ಲಾಜಿಕ್? ಏನು ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ?
It is blank and then something is taken.
As it is, mirror mode.
Information, vikalpa mode. So that information is again processed.
Now, what is the logic in this sequence? Question is very clear and straightforward. Garima, can you think of any logic? Mirror mode, shadow mode, imagination mode, sleep mode, and then the flashback mode. Why this sequence? What does it show?
Initially, our chitta did not have any external impression in the start, but after the pramana, the information we started accumulating, and then
So does the information become more and more dense as you go forward from pramana to smriti? Gross to subtle, he is telling. What is gross and what is subtle, Appa? What is happening?
Sir, in Brahmana, you will acquire whatever information is there in your surroundings with your senses. Here, you are acquiring things. In Viparya, also you will acquire, but you misinterpret it. When you go to Vikalpa, there is nothing from the surroundings. You make imaginations in your mind. In Nidra, it is like complete shutdown.
We know that. Logic
when-
batao, logic.
When Smriti comes, Smriti can be from past also. Like
Past only. Smriti is from past only. Logic क्या है?
so, cross the Saturns.
Samskaras.
Huh?
This present can turns into samskara further.
लॉजिक क्या है? क्वेश्चन का आंसर दो यार.
If it says when a light
हाँ? One by one. हाँ.
like anything falls, so first that impression is the thing what we see. One example, the light. If light falls on this pen only, we can see the pen. Upon that, next, if this object is there only, next shadow will be seen. Uh, then like
After that logic बताओ. हाँ. Is the distraction increasing more and more?
Maybe Patanjali is trying to see it from lower to up, from Smriti to Pramana, what are better? Way to translate.
Which is better? Pramana is better.
Better than Smriti.
Why Smriti is the worst?
Because we always, at least in Pramana, though we are not transcending, at least we are processing whatever is there from reality. In Smriti, we have completely lost the touch from reality. So maybe he's trying to do that.
Maybe
In Vikalpa also you are losing touch with reality, no?
At least in Smriti, we are completely back, completely in the past. At least in Vikalpa, we are trying to misinterpret at least. If not, we are trying to imagine.
So you mean to say that going in future is better than going into past? Vikalpa is mainly about future. She says going in future is better than going in past. How many of you agree with her logic? Raise your hand. Shreyas agrees. Vinay agrees. Bhashmila agrees. Ashish also agrees. Ashish, आप क्यों agree कर रहे हो यार? आप बताओ.
You can change, like when you are going into future, you see things and you can transform according to that. Like past has already happened, what has happened.
You can't do anything about it.
Yes, but when you think of future, you plan.
The creative aspect is still there.
In Bhagavad Gita also, tamas to rajas, rajas to sattva.
Yes. Please clap. This is what I wanted to hear. Pramana and Viparya are in the Sattva mode. There is more clarity. Things, you are in touch with reality, there is more clarity. Vikalpa. Viparyaya and Vikalpa. Pramana can be in Sattva mode. Viparyaya and Vikalpa are Rajas mode. देखो ना आप. विपर्यय कब होता है? आदमी को डाउट, सस्पिशियसनेस, और ज्यादा इमेजिनेशन, ज्यादा आइडियाज अबाउट फ्यूचर, फ्लाइट ऑफ आइडियाज, ऑल दैट आर रजस टेंडेंसीज. प्रमाणा इज सत्व टेंडेंसी. विपर्यय एंड विकल्प आर रजस. बट तमस इज निद्रा एंड स्मृति. वो सिर्फ अपने पास्ट में और अपनी नींद में. दैट इज कंसिडर्ड एज द वर्स्ट बाय पतंजलि. सो Pramana is Sattva, Vikalpa and Viparyaya are Rajas, and Nidra and Smriti are. In Bhagavad Gita also you see this reference where Krishna tells that it is better to do a mistake rather than just brooding over it and not doing the action. It is always better to do the action than worrying about the past and fearing that in the past I had taken this action, this had happened, so I will not take action now also. So always a person who takes lot of actions and learns from the mistake is considered better than a person who plays safe, remains mostly inactive, and brooding over the past. That is why Patanjali puts it in this sequence. Logically makes sense. Yeah.
Sir, when the Prakriti is starting Vrata is Panchta Klishta. There you think they can be Klishta, like Klesha producing also? They can be like Aklishta, like not Klesha producing. So there he's mentioning it can be both ways.
No, anything can be both way, but if you want to say that within the vrittis, the modes that you are in, which mode should you select more often to be there? No? Then Patanjali says that it is rather than a lifestyle where 18 hours a day you are sleeping, that is the worst, because you have become completely vegetative there. It is better to be more imaginative and thinking, even if you misinterpret, but you are active, your mind is active, it is better than, you are becoming more and more passive. In Smriti mode, what can you do? You can just see what has happened. In sleep, anyway, you are inactive. At least in Viparya and Vikalpa, there is some activity of the mind. In Pramana, the mind is active. In Pramana, the body, senses, everything is alert and active. So your alertness and your ability to respond to life around you is more. If I am imaginative, I am creative, I will perceive things, I will imagine, a poet is a Vikalpa fellow. Poet writes poetry. I can bring moon for you. These are all not, no touch with reality. But he is creative. अभी एक पोएट है, वो बैठ के दिन भर कविता लिखते रहता है, और दूसरा है वो दिन भर सोते रहता है और पूरा पास्ट का ही सोचते रहता है. कौन बेटर है? पोएट बेटर है ना. एटलीस्ट यार कुछ तो कर रहा है. हम यही बोलते हैं कुछ तो कर रहा है, लेकिन ये तो पूरा ही पैसिव हो गया, वेजिटेटिव हो गया. बट उससे भी बेटर वो है जो वर्तमान में अपनी ड्यूटी करता हुआ माइंडफुली पूरा प्रेजेंट है. नाउ इन माई टॉक, आई एम टॉकिंग, you can enhance your sattva if you are just with me, what sir is telling and what I am perceiving, and my own projections also I am able to see. वो भी pramana में, then you are in. If you are able to listen to me and also able to see your own automatic reactions, you are actually increasing the brightness behind, the brightness of mindfulness beyond pramana. Pramana is only senses in the present. लेकिन आप जितना खुद के बारे में सेल्फ अवेयर होते चले जाते हो, सेल्फ अवेयरनेस इज इंक्रीजिंग द ब्राइटनेस. Then as the brightness increases, your attachment to the vrittis reduces. Then you reach a yoga mode sometime where it is an independent bright mode that comes up, but in the beginning there is self-awareness. So please, see how logical Patanjali is, how beautifully 2500 years ago, a sage comes and provides this depth of Indian psychology, mind, subconscious mind, modes in which the mind functions, its sequence, and gives the solution of how you can remove the clutter out of your mind and become self-aware. So becoming non-judgmentally aware of myself is what, when Patanjali says abhyasa, and when Patanjali says vairagya, please understand, some people ask me, sir, you unnecessarily in your class you bring component of mindfulness. There is no reference like that. Where is mindfulness here? What is vairagya then? Non-judgment. What is abhyasa then? Awareness. Abhyasa is awareness, vairagya is non-judgmental. Non-judgmental awareness is mindfulness. तो और क्या पतंजलि क्या बोल रहा है? Okay. So sometimes this also happens, that half of it is your projection, perceiving what you are perceiving, and half of it is coming from the very base of the chitta, that is your samskaras. So on the screen, there are two forces always playing. One is perception, other is samskara. If samskara dominate, perception reduces. If perception dominates, samskara reduce. You understand? And the mixing of them brings various vrittis. Somewhere, on their journey, people become aware of Patanjali's path. They get into different paths of yoga. Some people like Vipassana, some people do mindfulness, some people get into bhakti, some people perform actions for welfare of others without attachment, that is karma yoga. Some people take the path of determination, and slowly, a bright light starts falling on the chitta. This is the light of self-awareness, light of bhakti, light of jnana, whatever that you say. Now, this is another mode. On the play of screen that is happening on my chitta, if I suddenly start asking a question, who am I? Now, this who am I is making me aware of my chitta. It is also making me aware of what are the patterns that are coming from my subconscious. And this who am I mode is a separate mode, no? Who am I? Which mode is it? Who am I पूछ के बैठ गया और देख रहा है जो भी चित्त में हो रहा है पूरे सबकॉन्शियस से सब कुछ देख रहा है. Who am I mode is what mode? हाँ, but does it fall under any of the five? Who am I? Who am I बोलने के बाद एक void create होता है. There is a sense of nothingness. Whatever that you thought you are not. Whatever that you thought you are not. From the mode of why this particular thought repeats in my mind, why this vritti again and again comes in my mind. From the mode of why this vritti, when you ask who am I, you shift to who is projecting this vritti. See, there is a difference. Why this to who? Who is projecting? So, when you ask who is projecting the vritti, suddenly you are detached from all the vrittis. तो एक चीज जो आपको आपके सारे पेशेंट्स को सिखाना है, you have to tell all your patients is, rather than asking why me, you ask who is. Why am I suffering की जगह पे पूछो who is suffering. Is there a difference between the two? One, mentally I suffer. Mentally there is suffering. One mode is you ask, why am I suffering? This is one mode. Second mode is, who is suffering? Or to make it more simple, you tell, lo, again my chitta started projecting these images of suffering. Such empowering. Lo, again the thought of guilt has started projecting on my mental screen. First mode में, why am I getting these thoughts of guilt? Why don't they leave me? Why don't I get freedom from them? Here observer is fighting with vrittis. Then he shifts into a mode and says, lo, again my chitta started projecting the same mode of smriti. Now there is an observer of the smriti mode. That observer has no guilt because he never did any action. Action is done by prakriti. पुरुष नॉन डूअर, न करता है न भोगता है. अरे जिसने किया है वो भोगे यार, मैं क्यों भोगू? The one who did, let him suffer. Prakriti did, let Prakriti suffer. I didn't do it. Why should I suffer? Actually, you did not do it. Actually, you did not do it. You are pure consciousness, serene, untouched, non-doer, never did anything. You didn't do it because you in your essence are not Prakriti at all. In your essence, you are Purusha only. You are Purushamsha. You didn't do. Believe me, you didn't do it. You are Satchidananda Shiva Swarupa. Serene, untouched, non-observant, non-judgmental, aware. Chidananda Swarup. You never did it. You can't do it. द वन हु डिड इट इज प्रकृति, द वन हु इज सफरिंग इज प्रकृति। आपका क्या लेना देना है? गुण गुणों में खेल रहे, उनको खेलने दो। गुणानुगुणात वर्तन्ते इति धारयन् गुणातीतः स उच्यते। गुणातीत कौन है? गुणातीत doesn't say that I don't want this, I want this. No. He says gunas are playing in gunas, they are prakriti. I am Shiva Tattva, I am Purusha Tattva. This is me. Really, who am I? I am pristine, untouched consciousness which never did anything and which never experienced anything as a result of those actions. Klesha, karma, vipaka, आशय अपरामृष्टः पुरुष विशेष ईश्वर। पतंजलि गिव्स ए डेफिनेशन ऑफ ईश्वर। सी पतंजलि से बड़ा साइंटिस्ट नहीं है, बट वो ईश्वर तत्व को लाता है, और ईश्वर तत्व को भी इस तरीके से लाता है कि आपको लगता है कि आप भी ईश्वर बन सकते, कि आप ईश्वर हो ही। He doesn't say that Ishvara is the one who is free from klesha, karma, vipaka. No, he says Ishvara is the one who is untouched of klesha, karma, vipaka. Aparamrishta. Klesha, karma, vipaka will be there. But if you, हठ योगी डिटरमाइन कर लेता है, वीर्य, बस सर ने बोल दिया हो गया, अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, खेल खत्म, अब जो हो रहा है प्रकृति में होने, कोई लेना देना नहीं, करने दो प्रकृति। आई एम क्लेश कर्म विपाक आशय अपरामृष्ट, नथिंग टू डू विथ इट, आई एम इन माय स्वरूप। Then you are Ishvara according to Patanjali in that mode itself. That is known as Ishvara mode. Ishvara mode comes before Swarupa mode. But this is the fact. Who did it? Prakriti. You tell me, no. Why sexual thoughts come onto my chitta? Erotic images come. And I do certain actions and I feel guilty. Okay. Now you tell me, this action is done by Purusha or Prakriti? Fundamentally, when erotic thoughts come, what causes it? Fact batao. What causes it? Testosterone. Testosterone किसने बनाया? You made testosterone in your blood. Did you synthesize testosterone molecule? Did you create estrogen? Did you create those glands, ovaries, testes? Decide at this age it should surge, hormones should go up, then at this age it should stop? Or are you doing that play? Who is managing that orchestra of hormones? Then why are you becoming a doer here? Where is your role? आपका क्या लेना देना है? ना आपने वो ग्लैंड बनाया, ना आपने वो हार्मोन बनाया, वो अपना अपना खेल रहा है, उसमें फालतू में आप आके अपने गिल्ट बीच में ये कर रहे हो, क्या लेना देना? What even if you move a muscle, calcium in that actin myosin filament, are you releasing? So what it is happening? Nature is doing its action and reaction. वो अपना action reaction करने दो. You are Purusha. You never did anything. All this is done by gunas of Prakriti. Reaction is also for the gunas of the Prakriti. then अष्टावक्र बोलता है छोड़ो यार, फिर क्या लेना देना है, कर्तापन को छोड़ दो, भोक्तापन अपने आप छूट जाएगा. Remain in your swarupa. The more you remain in your swarupa, the more this light glows. This is ज्ञानी mode. ज्ञानी ऐसा सोच के चलता है. भक्ता क्या बोलता है? भक्ता इज अनदर मोड. He says, all my पुण्यास, पापास, my limitation, whatever I did. भक्ता आइडेंटिफाई करता है प्रकृति से. वो बोलता है उतना मेरे अंदर ना इंटेलेक्चुअल पावर है कि मैं हमेशा याद रख सकूं कि मैं पुरुष हूं. ये पूरा मिक्स है, प्रकृति है. लेकिन एक बात मेरी समझ में आती है. आई अंडरस्टैंड वन थिंग. माई इष्ट देवता, देवी, शिवा, कृष्ण, हनुमंता, सुब्रमण्य, नरसिम्हा, महाअवतार नरसिम्हा. देखा कि नहीं? हाँ, ए डोंट मिस दैट मूवी यार. वंस इन ए लाइफ टाइम, वंस इन ए लाइफ टाइम ऐसा मूवी बनता है. प्रणाम है उसके डायरेक्टर को. महाअवतार नरसिम्हा. प्लीज दिस वीकेंड एवरीबडी, आई विल टेक एवरीबडी. लेट अस ऑल गो फॉर महाअवतार नरसिम्हा दिस संडे. प्लान करो आशीष, प्लान बनाओ यार. सो आई विल टेक, बट एवरीबडी पे देयर ओन टिकट. आई विल टेक. सो महाअवतार नरसिम्हा और वट एवर I say I am weak. See, in bhakti there is difference. ज्ञानी बोलता है अहम ब्रह्मास्मि, अहम शिव तत्व. भक्त बोलता है I am the lowest of the lowest creature in this universe. चीटी से भी मैं नीचे हूं. सबसे दैन्यता, दैन्यता के बिना भक्ति नहीं आती. भक्त सबसे पहला बोलता है इस दुनिया का सबसे नीच कमीना इंसान है अगर कोई तो वो मैं. खुद को गाली देना भक्त की हॉबी होती है. हाँ? खुद को जितनी ज्यादा गाली देता है उतना बड़ा भक्त होता है वो. सबसे पहला पार्ट होता है भक्ति का दैन्यता. सबसे पहले नीचे चला जाओ, एकदम नीचे. इतनी गालियां खुद को दो, दूसरे की गलती उसको दिखती नहीं, खुद को गाली देता है सबसे ज्यादा. अगर ये नहीं कर रहा है तो वो भक्ति है ही, अभी शुरू भी नहीं हुई भक्ति. अभी भक्ति का एबीसीडी भी नहीं चालू हुआ. इवन एबीसीडी ऑफ भक्ति हैज नॉट स्टार्टेड इफ यू आर इन द मोड ऑफ ब्लेमिंग अदर. नो. भक्ता सबसे पहले सबको नीचे, सबसे नीचे. नंबर वन. वेरी वेरी लो सेल्फ एस्टीम. लोएस्ट ऑफ सेल्फ एस्टीम is required for bhakti. In general, in psychology, wherever you study, you would say no, self esteem has to be enhanced only if you are following the path of determination or knowledge. But if you are getting into the mode of bhakti or karma, self esteem has to be lowered, lowered so much that you become utterly powerless. तो नंबर वन, खुद को हीन समझता है. इसलिए ईश्वर के अलग अलग नामों में जो नाम दिया जाता है वो दीन बंधु बोला जाता है. हमारे पुरी के जगन्नाथ जो है वो दीन बंधु. वो सेल्फ एस्टीम वालों के बंधु नहीं है, दीन के बंधु. सेल्फ एस्टीम वाला है तो आप वो अलग उसमें चले जाओ, वेदांता. भक्ति में जाना है तो सबसे पहला दैन्यता, दीनता, पावरलेसनेस. सेकंड इज पावरलेसनेस. If I had the power to do it, I would have done it long back. I have tried everything. I have reached a state. I cannot do it. ये चित्त को क्लीन करना, उसमें से सारी वृत्ति को हटा के प्रकाश लाना, ये सारा पावर हमारे बस का नहीं. But I have firm faith in one thing. For you, O Narasimha, O Shiva, in a flash you can create universes. In a flash you can dissolve them. For you it will not even take a second. मूकम करोति वाचालम पंगुम लंघयते गिरिम यत्कृपा तमहम वंदे परमानंद माधवम. You can make a person who has no legs to cross a mountain. It is your kripa that I believe in. If you do, it will happen. With that faith, like A small bird, no, whose wings have not yet come. Mother only has to come and feed. Baby bird only has one thing, can just cry for mother. Apart from that, no other strength. Mother only has to. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa gives this example of a baby monkey and kitten of a cat. Monkey has to catch the mother when mother jumps from one tree to another. Risk of fall is monkeys. Mother doesn't care. Mother will eat, do whatever. Baby monkey has to hold the mother. That is ज्ञानी. अहम ब्रह्मास्मि. तू पकड़ ब्रह्मा को. पर वो बिल्ली का बच्चा रहता है, कुछ नहीं, एकदम लूज. फिर उसकी मम्मी उसको अपने स्ट्रॉन्ग जॉ में पकड़ती है. देन इट इज मदर्स रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी. वेयर एवर मदर जंप्स, कुछ नहीं, रोना है उसका. भक्ता क्राइज, रोतलू होता है, एक नंबर का रोतलू होता है. छोटी सी बात में उसको रोना आएगा, रोते ही रहेगा वो हमेशा. उसको कुछ भी मिल जाए तो वो कृपा सोच के रोता है, नहीं मिला तो रोता है तो है ही, मिलता है तो और ज्यादा रोता है. In the beginning, mother tries to send toys. ये बहुत, मैं भी बहुत बिजी हूँ, ये रोता जा रहा है, ये ले इससे खेल. उसको मोबाइल देता है, थोड़ी देर वो मोबाइल खेलता है, फिर उसको फेंक के फिर से रोता है, फिर उसको लैपटॉप दे देता है. In life of bhakta, you keep getting bigger and bigger awards because you are looking at that fellow source of the creation, mother you want, तो वो उसके पहले सब कुछ देती है. You see, no, all there may be many mothers here, busy mothers. Child is crying, they know ये इसको ये वाला टॉय देने से ये थोड़ा देर तो एंगेज हो ही जाता है, ये आधा घंटा तो ये खेलेगा. करेक्ट. देन मदर गिव्स दैट टॉय. मदर नोज which toy will satisfy this fellow. But then शाम हो जाती है, मदर काम से आई नहीं वापस, फिर वो सारे खिलौने फेंक देता, कुछ भी दिया तो है. फिर उसको उसकी माँ उठाती है. That is the light of bhakti. It functions by nama and rupa. It keeps doing nama japa, continuous nama. Every breath becomes the japa. With that japa on the mental screen, slowly, as the japa becomes more and more, rupa starts coming. First nama comes, then rupa comes. Now this is the yoga mode of a bhakta. ज्ञानी का जो मोड होता है वो शून्यता, शांति, असीम ब्रह्म, फॉर्मलेस. लेकिन भक्त का असीम सुंदरता, ब्यूटी एट इट्स पीक, ग्रैंडर. वो उनके कमल नयन देखेगा, कमल चरण देखेगा, मोर मुकुट देखेगा, या शिव की वो विभूति देखेगा. वॉट एवर दैट भक्ता प्रेज और टेक्स द नामा, इट क्रिएट्स दैट रूपा. In that rupa, like a butterfly gets completely trapped and dissolved into lotus, its rasa. Like that, in the rupa, the bhakta completely dissolves himself. उसको फिर मोक्ष नहीं चाहिए, मुक्ति नहीं चाहिए, उसको सिर्फ अपने इष्ट देवता के चरणों में वो, जैसे मकरंद के रस को एक तितली पीते रहती है ना, ऐसे वो उसके रूप के रस को पीता रहता है. उसका ही चित्त, his own chitta gives him that nectar of rupa, Satchidananda Ghan Anand Swaroop. In that he doesn't even want to become one with that rupa. It is like an ant. If an ant goes into a sugar factory and the whole godown is filled with sugar, the ant goes into it and you put it into a grinder and mix it, the ant has become one with the sugar powder. That is ज्ञानी. भक्त बोलता है नहीं, अपने को उसमें पाउडर नहीं बनना है. ही रिमेन्स ऑन द एज ऑफ दैट हॉल कॉर्नर में, वहां से धीरे धीरे वो शुगर के एक क्यूब को वो लेता रहता है. ही वांट्स द्वैता. ही नोज इन एसेंस एवरीथिंग इज वन, बट दैट द्वैता इज एंजॉयड बाय भक्त. बिगिंस विथ नामा, goes into rupa, and from the rupa it gets into leela. पहले स्टैटिक इमेज होता है, बाद में वीडियो बन जाता है वो, फिर वो उसमें प्रवेश कर लेता है। सो दैट इज हाउ चित्ता बिकम्स एन इंस्ट्रूमेंट ऑफ प्रोजेक्टिंग द स्वरूप, आइदर स्वस्वरूप और इष्ट स्वरूप। Therefore, Patanjali gives Ishwar Pranidhan. Patanjali gives Ishwar Pranidhan as one distinct way of Chitta Vritti Nirodha. Correct? Then he also gives for Jnani Swadhyaya, tapas, for people with determination. But all three make Kriya Yoga. Tapas Swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhanani, Kriya Yoga. People ask, no, yoga is a lifestyle. Arey, what lifestyle are you talking about? Is it a tapa lifestyle? Which one would you like to follow? Tapa, Swadhyaya, Ishwar Pranidhana? Which one of the following kriyas you want to do to bring the intensity of light onto your chitta screen? Swadhyaya, I already explained, self-awareness. Who am I? Who is thinking? That is what Gautama the Buddha followed. Tapas is another very beautiful path. शनै शनैरुपरमेत बुद्ध्या धृति ग्रहितया आत्मसंस्थम मनः कृत्वा न किंचिदपि चिंतयेत। वो बोलता है इन चित्तवृत्तियों से बार बार मेरे पास डिटर्मिनेशन है, आई विल नेवर गिव अप, अगेन एंड अगेन, अगेन एंड अगेन ब्रिंग माय माइंड टुवर्ड्स आत्म तत्व। मेरे हृदय में वो ईश्वर है, वो तत्व है, मैं बार बार उसका ध्यान करूंगा, और जहां जहां मेरा मन जाएगा, वेर एवर माई माइंड गोस, आई विल ब्रिंग इट बैक टू दैट तत्व। So this is like trying to put a lamp against the wind, but using your whole willpower and making the lamp sustain slowly, 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 slowly. The intensity of lamp increases and the wind reduces. This is tapa. Tapa में he does exactly opposite of what his senses want. If his senses say आज खीर खाने का मन है, तो सबसे पहले वो बोलेगा जिंदगी में अब खीर को हाथ नहीं लगाना। क्यों? मेरे मन में इच्छा कैसे आ गई? How did this desire come? It is Prakriti. How can I indulge in Prakriti? I am Purusha. जो मन उसको, जिस बात के लिए मन सबसे ज्यादा आतुर होता है, वो उसको डिनाई करता है। When he is very hungry, he will wait for 1 more hour to eat, or he will fast the whole day, because he wants to make the senses or the indriyas weak. वो अपने हॉर्सेस को वीक करता है और बुद्धि को, विवेक को बढ़ाता है। वो होता है हठ योगी, तप योगी। Tapa is heat. How is the heat generated? When you use your intellect to go against your tendencies of janma and janma. जन्मों जन्मों से टेंडेंसी है निद्रा में रहने की, स्मृति में रहने की। तो he will get up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go for a run, chant om. So all things he will do against the gunas that are dominating. Jnani will follow the path of self awareness. भक्ता बोलता है मुझसे कुछ नहीं होने वाला, वो पूरा नाम जप में और उसमें। So you tell me, which one do you like? All are good, all are wonderful. Bhagavad Gita says ध्यान योग, ज्ञान योग, bhakti योग, सांख्य योग, everything is fine, wonderful. All paths lead to the same goal of purification of the chitta. So हाथ उठाओ भाई, स्वाध्याय वाले हाथ उठाओ, बड़ा हाथ उठाओ यार, स्वाध्याय कॉन्फिडेंटली हाथ उठाओ, स्वाध्याय वाले हाथ उठाओ, रेज अप, 1, स्वाध्याय माइंडफुलनेस अप्रोच, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, तपस वाले हाथ उठाओ, दोनों में उठा रहे, उठा सकते हैं, उठाओ, तपस वाले उठाओ, 1, 2, 3, उठाओ यार, 4, 5, वेरी गुड, 6, 7, दे हैव दैट, जन्मों जन्मों से साधना किए होते हैं, तभी वो पाथ पसंद आता है। They have done Hatha Yoga in their previous lives also. That's why they are choosing that. भक्ति वाले हाथ उठाओ, ईश्वर प्रणिधान, साथ में मिक्स, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14। भक्ति वाले ज्यादा लग रहे हैं, भक्ति थोड़ा इजी भी लगता है। All paths are wonderful. It starts from different paths as you reach the mountain, but as you reach the top, all start mingling, merging with each other. In the beginning, it is different. ऐसे माउंटेन पे चढ़ने जैसा है. शुरू करते वक्त बराबर अपने पाथ से ही जाना चाहिए. बाद में वो मिक्स होता है तो होने देना चाहिए, लेकिन शुरू में क्लैरिटी रहना चाहिए. शुरू में कंफ्यूजन रहा तो ज्यादा ऊपर नहीं जाता. सो then reflection of only the Purusha and suppression of all the impressions of Prakriti, inward as well as outward, that is known as Chitta Vritti Nirodha, or the state of Dhyana. See, in one class, in initial 20 sutras of Patanjali, the whole idea of how Indian psychology looks at mind, its problems, and its solution is covered. Now you can see, a patient comes to you, पहले तो ये देखो कि ये पेशेंट में कौन सा मोड ज्यादा एक्टिव है. निद्रा स्मृति मोड ज्यादा चल रहा है, या विपर्य या विकल्पा मोड चल रहा है, या प्रमाणा मोड चल रहा है. फर्स्ट अप्रोच शुड बी, इफ ही इज इन निद्रा स्मृति, ब्रिंग हिम टू विपर्य विकल्पा. फ्रॉम विपर्य विकल्पा ब्रिंग हिम टू प्रमाण. सबसे पहला अप्रोच तो ये कि सबको प्रमाण में लेके आ जाओ, क्योंकि तमस से रजस, रजस से सत्व की तरफ हम जाते हैं. वंस ही कम्स टू प्रमाण, देन उसको तपा, स्वाध्याय या ईश्वर प्रणिधान में से एक पाथ को चूज करो. वी हैव ए पाथ ऑफ योगा स्केल ऑल्सो. You apply that and you will know, and then take him on a journey. Because he is a beginner, you need a distinct path. Then take him on a journey based on his highest score towards yogic lifestyle. This is what is known as yogic lifestyle. Tapa, Swadhyaya or Ishwar Pranidhana.
All should be there, no sir.
In the beginning, no. Once, as you keep going up and up, they start merging. In the beginning, to have clarity in your sadhana, follow one. So anybody, any doubt on these discussions? Yes.
Sir, so yoga generally speaks about transcendental approach, and Western psychology talks about functional approach. In yoga, we say pratipaksha bhavana, so cultivate the opposite thing. In Western psychology, they say that if the emotion is at intensity of 10, try to bring it to 8, then 6. So clinically, how will we apply transcendental approach?
Anybody would like to answer? You understood his question. His question is, yoga adopts a transcendental approach where you let the problems remain as it is and develop a observer or offer everything to an Ishta Devata. Correct? Or in Pratipaksha Bhavana, it is said that you cultivate the opposite emotion. Whereas in Western approaches, the same emotion remains, like in CBT, REBT. You want to reduce the intensity of those emotions from 10 to 8, 8 to 5, 5 to 7, and slowly reduce. So he says that which approach to follow.
I just said like about example of darkness and light. As long as you are in darkness and you try to come out, it would be difficult rather than. So
He answers that by giving that example of darkness and light. Fighting with darkness is one dimension. Lighting the light is an entirely different dimension. Most of the approaches of Indian psychology are focusing on lighting the light, lighting the lamp. जैसे डार्कनेस से आप उसकी इंटेंसिटी कम भी कर रहे हो तो वो ऑब्जर्वर तो बना ही हुआ है ना, वो कम होगी फिर बढ़ जाएगी, क्योंकि लाइफ, जीवन तो द्वैतात्मक है. That is what with CBT and all we observe. As long as people undergo session, they do better. After that, they relapse. No? Otherwise, they have to be doing some regular exercise, or at least they are undergoing some booster session, then only they maintain. So it is like symptomatic relief. But a transformational approach, if you require, you need to go into the transcendental domains, I believe.
Will they understand that? Because already they are cognitively compromised.
That is what. That way you are very correct. That is why I said that in the beginning the approach is to bring everybody into pramana vritti. You play within the vrittis only. Slowly, when they have come into pramana vritti, then you choose the path of yoga. And here also I would like to say that among the 4 paths of yoga, Raj Yoga and Karma Yoga are there for the beginners. Suddenly, everybody will not go into bhakti or jnana. From karma, person can slowly go towards bhakti. And from Hatha Yoga or Raj Yoga, person can move towards jnana. Why that happens is because when karma in the beginning, as Dr. Ram was saying, that in the beginning you do karma selflessly, and slowly over a period of time you start offering that karma to your Ishtadevata. Then it becomes a tool for improving your bhakti. Whereas in Hatha Yoga, in the beginning, you start with your willpower, determination again and again, bring your mind. But over a period of time, the very doer of Hatha Yoga, you start becoming aware of that fellow also. Who is doing it? So slowly Hatha Yoga leads to Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga leads to Bhakti Yoga. And as you ask the question, that these complex phenomena of Jnana and Bhakti, they may not be able to understand. So in the beginning, begin with karma yoga or Raj Yoga. Raj Yoga is just doing these yoga sessions, being regular, observing regulated lifestyle. That is doable. Even in serious cases, it is doable. तो जिसको ज्ञाना भक्ति सीधा सीधा कनेक्ट नहीं होता, उसको राजयोग और कर्मयोग से कनेक्ट करो और धीरे धीरे उसको ज्ञान और भक्ति की तरफ लेके जाओ, है ना? These two approaches, I feel, they will eat right at the top of the mountain, क्योंकि ये दोनों अपोजिट साइड से चढ़ रहे हैं. These two people had, one is climbing from the east, other is climbing from the west. They will meet right at the end. वो आइंस्टाइन जब देखता है E इक्वल टू MC स्क्वायर, तब वो नमस्कार भी करता है ना, फाइनली करता है, उसके पहले नहीं करता है. सो दे आर वेरी डायगोनली, बट दे विल बिकम वन एट वन टाइम, नॉट नाउ, इन द बिगिनिंग.
What is the process of knowing which vritti, like you mentioned, to know which vritti is dominant in them? How do we know that, like asking them? Because once it's also possible, they are also not aware of what vritti they are doing.
आ उमा स्केल अगर आप लगाओगे ना, तो आकारा जो है वो प्रमाणा की तरफ लेकर के जाएगा, ऊकारा जो है वो आपको विपर्य या विकल्पा स्मृति की तरफ लेके जाएगा, मकारा निद्रा की तरफ लेकर के जाएगा. वो एक है. दूसरा, इंटरव्यू कर सकते हो आप, थोड़ा डिटेल में उनसे थोड़ा बात करना पड़ेगा, क्या कौन से. यू विल नॉट टेल दैट आई एम असेसिंग योर वृत्ति, यू विल जस्ट टेल देम कि ऑन योर मेंटल स्क्रीन what are the kind of thoughts or images that keep repeating, what is it that occupies your mind most of the time. No, then you will find out कि इसको फिर मैं प्रमाण में कैसे लाऊं, राजयोग से लाऊं या कर्मयोग से लाऊं. ये आपके दिमाग में पहले आना चाहिए. फिर प्रमाण में आते हुए जब वो कर्मयोग करता जाएगा, उसकी चित्त शुद्धि होती जाएगी, तो वो धीरे धीरे भक्ति की तरफ चला जाएगा ना. लेकिन उसको अगर आप राजयोग से लेकर के जा रहे हो धीरे धीरे, तो फिर वो माइंडफुलनेस कंपोनेंट जो योगा के प्रैक्टिस में आपने डाला है, उसको डीपर डीपर ले जाके वो ज्ञान योग की तरफ चला जाएगा ना. तो ये एडवांस स्टेट्स है, लेकिन डेफिनेटली यू कैन बिगिन. बट ओवरऑल अप्रोच इज, इन ऑल द अप्रोचेस यू कम टुवर्ड्स प्रमाणा. फिर प्रमाणा से फिर उसको उसके पाथ पे, उसको माउंटेन पे चढ़ाना पड़ता है. So I am able to give you a complete framework. And the beauty is that everything is based on the first 20 shlokas of Patanjali. Okay. So thank you everybody. Namaste.